Spanning more than 4 decades, Vincent is internationally recognized as one of the most influential and respected interior designers working today. He has built an extraordinary body of work with residential, hospitality, and commercial projects across multiple continents. His design approach reflects a global perspective that transcends trends, combining sophistication with a profound sense of serenity to create spaces that are both elegant and deeply personal. Vincent has been repeatedly honored on the AD100 list, New York Space's Top 50 Designers, Interior Design Magazine's Hall of Fame, House Beautiful's list of the 10 most influential designers, and décor's Titan A-list. In addition to his design practice, Vincent is a celebrated author, having published a number of books on design, including his latest, Creative Interior Solutions. In a very glowing review, Veranda Magazine wrote, "If you're looking for a new essential guide to interior design, look no further than Vincent Wolf's Creative Interior Solutions." Featuring Wolf's own photographs, the designer's newest book offers wide-ranging and applicable advice on how to handle any decorating occasions, from reimagining outdated spaces to working with art in a room. Copies of the book are available for purchase in the rear, and Vincent will be signing them following the presentation. This evening, Vincent will explore why artwork doesn't need to match a room's color palette, how lighting can enhance a piece, and which wall colors best complement paintings. Using selections from the Doyle Home Sale here on view, he'll share strategies for displaying art and blending traditional pieces with modern furnishings. Please join me in giving a very warm welcome to Vincent Wolf.
I don't have to say anything, he said it all. So what I want, first of all, the person who wrote the book is sitting here in the room, Margaret Russell, and she wrote the book and gave me words that I probably didn't know how to use. So how do you deal with art? Well, there are many different ways of dealing with that. You can use, like on this wall, where it's a collection, a piece of sculpture hanging high, a piece of art, creating a composition with elements that are on pedestal. There are always ways of dealing with it. I love doing this. There's a curtain, and I hung the longo in front of it. So the fact that the artwork looks like he's floating, now it does it again in front of the curtain. There are many different, in this living room, a piece of art which is done like a Chinese porcelain is on the corner, different sizes of artwork, all put together into this corner to create a composition. The foyer was very dark, so I chose to hang a dark piece of art in there, and I felt that it was great because sometimes if you have a dark room and you have a dark piece of art, as long as it's well lit, you're able to really, it pulls you in. You want to go and look at it closely. And in the same house, in the dark brown library, I hung this very bright colored piece of art. So again, it's a juxtaposition of something bright in a dark room, and the other one was dark in a dark room. This is in Florida, and I wanted to have the client into the space for the first time. I was hanging the art. I wanted them to see their favorite piece of art. It was straight ahead from the front door. And we hung it over a steel shelf. And on the reverse of this wall is another of their favorite pieces, this time hanging over a wood shelf. I like the black and white hanging on the white walls. Most of the time I do white walls in spaces. And the reason I do that is because I like the sense of the white bringing out the architecture. I don't like spaces that look decorative. I like them to feel more architectural. In the same apartment, this sculptural piece, the sculptural piece which is all different colors, it's dimensional, reflecting the view from outside, is hanging over a curved sofa. So as you enter the space, you start to see the range of from reds to oranges to yellows to green, and it really captures it. And the light coming in reflects differently on each of the pieces. There you go. On the left, there's a doorway, which is the library. And when you walk out of the library, the first thing you see is this tapestry, which is made out of oil can or plastic oil cans that the artist cut and created the tapestries from South Africa. In the bedroom, I like to hang sometimes artwork on upholstered walls. I like the sense of the softness of the wall. And in this particular case, it was done in a grid form, and that helped hide the plastic that supports the piece of art from the ceiling. But on the left, there's a 1910, I don't know, do you all want to come? 1910 poster, which I put on the shelf. What I like about it is the fact that one is floating and the other one is on the shelf. And it's perfect because there's enough room for a bud vase to put a flower and create a really nice setting. This is in New York, and I love at the end of hallways to have a piece of art because your eye just goes right to it. And what's interesting about this piece of art is that it's upside down, so it really sort of catches your eye. And when you come in the front door, this dimensional piece over here really works great over the shelf. When you have white walls in a very neutral room, a painting with bright colors just takes over the room, and that's what we wanted to do in this space. You walk in, you see the views, but the orangey red painting just sort of captures your eye. In the library, when you walk out, we did open shelves at either side that look onto the hallway, which is all white. So you're seeing pieces, parts of the artwork that's hanging in the white hallway. I love leaning things, especially on the floor. This is the breakfast room, and it's a great combination of an Italian 18th century bench, the chairs, which are molded plastic, and just the piece of art sitting on the floor. What better than opening the front door and seeing a beautiful sculpture straight ahead? And this is what happened here. The walls in the foyer are lacquered in like a celadon green, but the walls inside are white. In the living room, instead of having just one piece over the fireplace, we hung the art surrounding the fireplace. And it's a combination of Russian gilded 19th century chairs, a wonderful rock crystal chandelier, and the combination of contemporary art and the traditional pieces really works well. The library, we hung that piece, which was very geometric, on the wood panel walls. And in the foyer, well, Basquiat, well, you know, there's nothing else to be said. The sculpture that I showed you at the beginning is on the left-hand side. So you come in, you see the sculpture, then you look right, and you see the Basquiat. In the living room, the Damien Hirst is picked up by the tufting on the sofa. And the colors are really great, a combination of Chinese table, an Indian silver wedding table below the Chinese table. This is in Florida. And at the end of this hallway is the Amsui tapestry. It's really amazing. And again, it's a combination of industrial bases, satin chairs, a little wicker chair, all of them together. And I love environments that are not just one thought, that are a combination of periods and cultures put together. And what that does to me anyway is it gives the space a sense of time. Because it's not like thematic, like everything is one thought. There are elements that are coming into that space, and when you come in, as time goes by, you start to focus on different things. Again, Damien Hirst, hanging over a very sort of linear contemporary chaise, and then a 1940s French chair on the left, a Swedish chair on the right, and then brick walls. When you enter, it's her office, TV room, and a wonderful desk that we designed, and just a sense of the artwork. That orange is really, again, impactful when you walk into the room. And the size of the art, you know, you don't always, a big painting in a small room can have great drama. And this one did, because you walked in and it just sort of captured the room. In this foyer, piece of sculpture, the freestanding table. As you go up the stairs, African ladders, switches, you know, sort of primitive art. Becomes juxtaposition of a very modern staircase with a very sort of primitive African ladder. The sculpture here was done by an American artist that's in the Midwest. And so we bought it and we raised it off the floor and used it as a separation between the kitchen and the TV room. All these wonderful windows, bless you, are covered with casements, so looking out to the outside, which is really beautiful. This is a foyer in Old Westbury. And it was a house, turn of the century, white, very large white elephant. And so when we took over the house, we made it very contemporary inside, kept the outside, but one of the things that we did keep is the staircase, which is really beautiful. And then again, contemporary art mixed with French 19th century iron chairs, a contemporary table. In the living room, all these tonalities. It's not, you know, I hate people that say, oh, well, I must do all the colors to match the painting. It really doesn't work. I mean, it brings down the painting and it brings down the interior. When the client is buying art, he's buying it through their point of view. So when we're doing a space, it is done through the client's point of view. So the art is going to work well, whatever piece you put in any room, because it's all coming from the same point of view. But in this particular case, all the tonalities are really working great with the artwork. In the living room, we did a sculpture on a pedestal mounted on the wall, photography, artwork on an inlaid desk over here, hanging art off-center is really a way of really catching your eye. You can see that the bookcases are all on the right-hand side, and I hung it off-center because the fireplace was hanging off-center. But it really worked well because instead of right in the center of the room, it gave the room a much stronger sense to it. In the breakfast room, this is a piece of art that's a combination of painting and photography, and a very contemporary table, Saran chairs in clear plastic. In the kitchen, I don't know if you can see it, but at the end of the hallway, there's a big neon piece of sculpture on the wall, which you see all the way from the foyer. The dog is real. The carpet is old. And in the sunroom, I found in France this beautiful sphinx, which I mounted on pedestals. And again, that's at the end of the hallway. So when you look from the foyer past the piece of sculpture, you see this with curtains and looking out to the outdoors. So again, an amazing piece of artwork hanging on green lacquered walls. And then the Moreau hanging over the sofa in the same room is really a nice two pieces of art to have in a space. This is the same people's New York apartment, and the hand and the gilded chair are pieces of art, plus the one behind the sofa in the back, in a great view of Central Park. The living room, we combine a beautiful gilded console here, and beyond it you see the Brillo Warhol with two pieces here, well-known pieces. And again, the view of the outside. I love hanging artwork that just sort of tells a story. And this is all one piece, the ones on the left and on the right. But we hung them unevenly. Instead of lining everything up, I tried to create a composition and then balance with the very traditional mirror that's on over the fireplace and the two cleaning ladies on the floor, which is a contemporary sculpture. When you look this way, I'm very bad with names, so I'm not giving you all the names. But the cradle has been in many, many shows in different museums, and it is worth big bucks. And I said to him, you know, my cabinet maker can make that for you with no problem. And then you can just sell this one and keep the copy of your. They thought it was like, what are you saying, sin? They collect Venetian glass, which is on this bookcase on the right, which is glass shells with frosted glass behind. Again, combination of things. The love sculpture, the dog below, wonderful French lights on either side, and there's a screen that's in parchment, and beyond that is the sofa that's in the living room. Richard Serra painting, stone table, 19th century, again, 19th century ottomans. So it's always bringing the past, but always making it look contemporary or modern, because they were all modern at one time. You know, those benches were considered, the new hottest thing. And so I try to always deal with them in that way. I don't want them to feel like they're just antiques. I want them to feel like they're still living in today. Again, sculpture there, a wonderful Leger hanging on the wall. Just sculptures, a piece of stone with a bust on the left. In the library, a buffet hanging over the sofa. Again, mixture of elements. On the coffee table, forget it. No, we're going the wrong way. Wait. Here we go. One more. Lifshitz sculpture sitting on a Louis Vuitton desk in front of the sofa. Library, British artist. It's L-shaped beds, and what I did was I hung above that, on the corner I did a storage unit, and then above that I hung a piece of art. A Louise Nevelson white, which is, I love white Louise Nevelson, hanging over the dining banquette, traditional chairs and Buddha chairs on either side. Again, this is part of the circus series. Pulled up to the desk, Chinese porcelains, peach-colored roses. This is my apartment, and my sense is art should always be moving. If it hangs in one place too long, you stop seeing it. And I have shelves, I collect photography. So there's shelves throughout the space, and I move them all around. I do little stories within the apartment. Here's in the living room. Again, there's sculptures, there's collages, there's drawings as well. Great painting. And just again, a mixture. In the bedroom, more shelves, a Damien Hirst of shelves with pillows on it. I did a kids' show house, and I hung the Damien Hirst over the fireplace. And this lady walks in, she says, "Are you proposing that people should be taking pills all the time?" I said, "No, it's art." She said, "I've never heard of Damien Hirst. Who is he?" Who is he? Collage, 1920, Buddha, fragment of the Buddha again on the table. This again, my bedroom. It's a Indonesian, Anglo-Indian desk, which is really, I love the scale of it, with a sculpture of, this French artist does bird skulls, but they're done in iron. And you can see the size of the bird, which would be, you know, like looking pretty vicious if it was real. Again, as you enter my bathroom, artwork on the sink, flushing sink cabinet, on an easel. It's everywhere. That's a really dark room. And so, the reason I want to talk to you all is because I think it's important to see how different people think, how they approach their interiors, and how they use elements. As you can see, I'm very relaxed. My interiors do the same thing. I don't like a sense of formality. I love using old pieces, but always in a very relaxed way. And I think that when you do that, it creates an environment that really makes people feel good. A sense of the past, a beautiful chair, a contemporary piece, of furniture. That's really a wonderful way. And I think that when you come here and you look around at the things that are being sold, these are old pieces that can be incorporated into a traditional, contemporary environment or an eclectic sort of environment. I selected some pieces here which I liked when I saw them. I love the lady. I have one piece that I bought at auction in Paris like a few years ago. It's like, I would say almost 6 feet white of a nude woman, done in the 1930s, early 40s. So I love nudes. I love the sensuality that they have. And I think this piece has it. I love porcelains, and I like not just one. I think one is a chance, 3 is a collection. And I think have an object like this and blend it in with white, with blacks. It just really creates a wonderful sense to the space. The Venetian mirror behind me is really wonderful. It has all this glitter, whether it is a powder room, whether it is in an entrance or pieces like that, always bring a sense of drama to the space. And on the cover is this plate. You can see it's hand blown, and it's really wonderful. I mean, they'll filled with apples or mounted on the wall. It's, you know, pieces like that always look great in any sort of environment.